This is Colin Richards, president and founder of Lord & Richards, and we're continuing in this segment our discussion of retiring wiser. And we're talking about some of the headwinds that have been revealed in a new study by J.P. Morgan that came out this year called A Study on Retirement. Very creative name there. But the idea is there are some statistics that really can help you to plan and prepare for retirement so that you're what we call at Lord & Richards financially independent. And through our financial independence review process, we test these very elements. Unfortunately, I almost never see a plan in place. Very few advisors actually conduct comprehensive planning as part of their work with their clients. You're probably aware most people are out simply investing money and then hoping that things line up with your plan. We get granular at Lord & Richards. We're really serious about this, and we want to help you become financially independent so that you can do amazing things for God with the bountiful resources that He's entrusted to you. So continuing our discussion, we were talking a little bit about the age that we need to plan for in retirement. We've talked a little bit about some of the challenges as we get a little bit older with added costs such as healthcare. I want to go a little bit deeper into healthcare. So we've known this for quite a while, and we've built this into our plans that if you're age 65, your average normal healthcare costs are about $500 to $550 a month, okay? Now, you might have something different in your budget, or you might still be working and benefiting from a really awesome healthcare plan, but this is just how it tends to work out between your Medicare premiums, any supplements, anything that you have out of pocket. About $500 a month if you're a couple, about $1,000 to $1,100 a month. Well, guess what? By age 95, because of inflation, you're going to see that cost triple. And remember, we said in a prior segment, many of you, 72% of you, are going to see at least one spouse make it into your 90s. So this is important for planning. So if that cost is going to triple, what J.P. Morgan's study actually recommends is to plan for an assumed healthcare inflation rate of about 6%. Wow. So we in our plans have been planning for slightly less than that. So we're going to have to update our number. But I appreciate the researchers who figured this out so we can plan properly. Now, we're talking, of course, about the area of planning that deals with normal healthcare costs, right? But what do we do when we get into those extraordinary costs? Some of you are familiar with the term long-term care. Another word is chronic illness. The idea being that you may reach a point where you cannot perform some of the basic activities of life, like feeding yourself, like bathing yourself. You're going to need that added help from someone. And the problem is sometimes as we get older, that can get to a point where we really just cannot take care of ourselves. Here's the statistic, and it is sobering. And I don't say this to scare you. I say this so that you will plan and so that you'll work with somebody like us, and if not us, somebody like us, who will build into the plan the likelihood that you or your spouse is going to face long-term care. Here's the statistic. Men, 64% of you are likely during your lifetime to get to a point where you can't perform 2 of those 6 activities of daily living, therefore officially qualifying as chronically ill. And by the way, your Medicare doesn't pay for this. Your normal health care doesn't pay for this. This comes out of your pocket until you're bankrupt, okay? And then Medicaid kicks in. Key word there is aid. It means that you now get assistance from the government. But this is the number one cause of bankruptcy in retirement. Number one cause of bankruptcy. Women, your percentage is 75% because you tend to live a little bit longer. And these bodies, they just wear out, right? And we get to a point where we need help. So between 64% and 75%, so right around 70% average between men and women of you are going to need this. This is a sobering statistic. Have you planned for it? Has someone stress test your portfolio to make sure you could pay out of pocket? Now, some of you benefit from a really nice product called long-term care insurance, right? Problem is it's expensive, and every year it gets more expensive. And right about the time you need it, you've probably dropped it because it got too big for your budget. So one of the things we do at Lord & Richards is we plan for this and we prepare so that if you have to do it out of pocket, let's come up with the most efficient way to do that, tax-free. Let's leverage dollars, not just let a dollar do the work of a dollar, but let it do the work of $2 or $3 or $4. Why is this so important? You say, well, does the average person need a month of care, 2 months, 6 months? Here's another sobering statistic. The likelihood that you'll need 3 or more years of care is 64% for men and 59% for women. So again, nearly 2/3 are going to stay at least 3 years, with a significant population going on to 5 years or more, a lot of times because of cognitive impairment, which is another major, major challenge in retirement. And some of you have gone through this. You've seen the effect. You say, well, what does this cost? The average cost is around $113,000 per year, and the costs are soaring, such that a couple in their 60s now who faces long-term care in their 80s is likely to spend approaching $1 million for an average 4-year stay. That's incredible. Folks, these are meant to be sobering statistics because the topic is retiring wiser. And the Bible says the prudent man foresees the evil and is warned. So we know these things are a high likelihood. Let's build them into a comprehensive plan that not only addresses health care, but also a written income plan, a written risk management plan, a written plan to make sure that you don't overpay for taxes, and of course, a written estate plan. I'd love to visit with you more. There's so much I have to share with you. I'd love to talk to you. It just takes a conversation, picking up the phone and chatting about your goals, your values, your needs, and then maybe sitting together to develop a comprehensive plan. Let's chat.